All right. So thank you, my friend, Men in Black, and always good to see you and to converse with you a little bit. Before we move on and head inside, is there any anything you'd like to tell us about? Any warnings you'd like to give us? Any knowledge that you might have about the events that are unfolding here on Earth? Seems like there's a lot of stuff going on here. What do you have to say about that?
Beware of the bird.
The bird?
The eagle. Beware of the falcon. Beware of the flying machine, the flying bird. That's what I'm getting.
Helicopter? Planes?
Planes, birds, something that flies. We need to be
Chemtrails?
aware. Excuse me?
Maybe chemtrails?
The machines themselves, the beings themselves. I don't understand the rest of the message. I don't get it.
What's the danger that these flying things represent?
Flying eyes, flying eyes, prying eyes.
Okay.
The eye in the sky.
Right. So then, are you saying that there's going to be some kind of a shutdown of movement of people? We won't be able to move out so much soon.
Well, we'll be being watched heavily. Not just we as in we specifically, but we as all humanity.
Like everybody.
Mankind, but particularly our country, our general region.
The USA.
Both north and south, yes, like a circle, like not an oval, not the oval we envision, but the route that encompasses the borders of our nation.
Okay. And Men in Black, do you have any knowledge of any either an economic collapse coming or martial law coming?
Martial law is possible, but because of the timelines and because of the inability to determine which one and how it may be affected, it's hard to say.
Okay.
He says, ask Hal.
Okay.
Hal knows.
Ask Hal. Okay, perfect. All right. And then as far as the like the stock market and the economy and a lot of people not working, how do you see that playing out?
There will be an inevitable decline, but it will not be what we would deem a crash, and it
Okay.
will bounce back very quickly.
Okay. And then we feel like the problems, so to speak, come back with kind of a vengeance later in the summer. Do you see anything like that as well?
It's very possible, but it more likely will be a steady increase and a return to proper function.
Okay. So tell us about we had some just outstanding orb activity last night. It seemed like something new to us, but maybe it was just something we hadn't noticed before. Or was it a message? Or was it for a reason?
I think it's just building, but
It was for a reason. It was a reason for you to see that you have now been able to see better. A veil has been lifted upon or from off of your eyes and off of your energy. This is even more so than you could have thought. With all of your energy and all of your power and all of your combined essence that is beautiful and free and high in frequency and just wonderful, you're now starting to see a removal of things and the removal of this space and the people that were occupying your space. And it wasn't just the people that were occupying your space. It was an energy. It was a counter energy. And it was allowed to be there because of your high energy and because of them. It was just as Newton said, equal and opposite reaction.
now I have
But
two
because of the low vibrational frequency of the people that were there, it made it daunting. And now you've been shown how wonderful it can be, and you must remain of that same quality energy. If you decide to bring in roommates, they must be of a very calculated manner and type. They cannot be someone just with a bill or a dollar to pay or contribute. They must be on your same vibrational frequency, at least close. And you won't find many, so you'll have to look hard.
Lisa, what do you want to say?
I've noticed that when I'm catching orbs, the frequency as it is, when that's happening, I'm usually like really happy and really excited. But as an offset, I'm also like a little bit easily agitated. Is that just because that sort of frequency kind of just intensifies everything a little bit, or something else?
With you, it could be possible that that be the truth.
Okay.
With others, it would be very plausible that not be the case. And what would be the case is that these orbs that you are interacting with, because of your fairy nature, are not always the pleasant ones. And so some of these orbs can come and seem pleasant and be pleasant and bring pleasantness when they come, but they take something with them when they go. And that is where lies your agitation. So
Okay.
you must counterblock those orbs. If they are new orbs and new entities in orb form, you must call them out. You must ask them if they, whatever you may
Do you serve the
decide,
light?
if they serve the light. And many orbs that are not pleasant serve the light as well. So you have to specify more so in depth, in detail into your questioning.
Yeah, these aren't dark things, but unpleasant doesn't necessarily mean, dark or opposing. It's just,
Tricksters or
you know,
Aries are very much like humans in the way that they have high emotions, high strong emotions, good intentions, bad intentions, and they
okay.
come in great guys, and they already of their trickery.
do
You know,
you do you feel like they were maybe like having a little celebration because they knew that the energy was changing here last night?
Absolutely.
Is that
But
part
more
of it?
so, I wanted you to see that you could see more if you looked with your eyes without the presence of that particular energy. So it was a celebration for them, but a showing to you.
Okay.
Words.
And head on inside, Michael. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Be there now. Let's go ahead and are you in that main entry hall there with the angels in
I'm
the?
in the hall. I'm making my way toward the room, the greeting room.
Hmm.
I'm down inside the room now, and I see the table, and I see Hal.
Okay. Anybody else in there at this exact moment, or maybe they're
There's
just not?
seven.
What?
There's seven others, and they're flanking Hal on right and left.
Okay. Do any of them look familiar to you?
They're all familiar.
Okay.
They've been there. They've been there quite a few times.
Okay. Is our old filibuster pal there too?
He is not.
Okay. So let's say, hey Hal, how you doing, buddy? How's it going?
He says hello, and he loves you.
Nah, we love you too. And first of all, the guy we call the filibuster, we notice we haven't seen him anymore. Does he just not like to come around because we offended him, or is he not allowed in, or is he not vibrating high enough to get into the new version of the hall?
Since the addition of the room that we are only allowed in, he is not allowed because he cannot enter. As you say, his vibration is not high enough, and he has been deemed unworthy of entrance into not only the in no part of the hall, no part of the courtyard. He's not very pleasant, and he was only there for very technical terms and reasons in the first place.
Okay.
Was he reptilian?
What?
Was he a reptilian?
Huh?
Was he a reptilian?
Oh, was he reptilian by any chance?
No, he was not.
Okay. Um, okay. And who are these other entities that are here with you, just in a general sense?
They're helpmates and servants and
Okay.
students.
Oh, okay. Just parts of the hall, parts of you.
Parts of the hall, parts of Hal, parts of us.
Yeah, great. That's really cool. Okay. Have there been any changes to the hall since the last time we've been here?
No.
Okay, good. And so, Hal, we want to talk to you about events happening down on Earth. What's your perspective on it from up here, and how you're seeing things play out? What do you think about what's going on down here right now?
Hal thinks that it is absolutely in line with what is supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Its destiny manifest on this planet on a global scale.
Right. And so this is essentially just the catalyst for change, and us viewing change not always being a comfortable process.
Absolutely, but it's also a
Oh,
culling culling of negative energy that has been steeped and hidden in and amongst the politics, the politicians, and the financial systems that run this world.
Okay. Do you see the economy? How far down do you see it going before it rebounds? I mean, is it going to completely collapse? Is it just going to be a little scary and then come back?
The powers that be that currently rule will not allow it to fall completely down, because if it went all the way down and completely shut down, all of society in this country would burst into the personal flames.
Right.
There would be nothing left of the economic stratosphere that is our nation, that must remain intact.
Right. Okay. And as far as this virus, I feel like I see it burning out in the next couple weeks or so, or is it going to continue to get worse for maybe 4, 6, or 8 weeks?
You could go from 4 to 8 weeks, and that depends on how people handle it and how people spread it and how people allow it to be spread to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, would you say that this virus is demonstrating the love of God in some manner?
To a degree, but not fully, because that's somewhat a foolish notion.
Right. Because it was man-made, right?
It's entirely man-made, and it not only is it man-made, but it is man-implemented.
Okay.
However, during times like this, after like the vibration goes down a tiny bit, then the planetary vibration and frequency go up, right?
It's very true. That's very true. And just because this is not made of God specifically does not mean it cannot do his work.
Right, right. And
it is that very well.
We also think that we see, so many people at home and not working, maybe for the first times in their lives, and their kids aren't going to school, and maybe a lot of their daily stresses are going to kind of drop away, and they will start thinking of greater things and higher purposes, and why are we here on this planet when they normally couldn't do that because they're so distracted. What do you think about that?
On one hand, you are exactly correct, and on one hand, you are not, or they are not, rather, because you are not incorrect in your assumption, and your actual last statement will be very, very come to be shown as very, very real and very, very tangible, because this will inadvertently give mankind the break that it needs. The break that it needs to be one with family, to become understanding with the value of home and what home really means more than a mortgage. And this is not the effect that they wanted it to have.
Right. They wanted everybody to be in such panic, but they're all going to be at home playing on Facebook, watching comedy TV shows, and just chilling, right?
Not to say they're going to be having a good time and they're going to enjoy it. And when they come out of this, they will come out of it refreshed and with many new perspectives.
And insights too, right? Because there's so many people spreading information and things.
Absolutely. Yeah. People are being made to be still right now, and they don't want to be still. But after a few moments of being still, they will find great knowledge in that stillness.
Wow, that's great. Okay, now I've been hearing about some kind of conspiracy theories that I'm not liking them or vibing with them as much as I might like them to be true. And I wonder, Hal, if you could give us your opinion on some of these things. So one, I was hearing that the Prime Minister of Canada was hiding out or under arrest or something like that. Is that even a thing? Is that possible?
That is false.
Yeah. And Tom Hanks, he says he has the virus, and some people say he doesn't. He's just hiding out.
That is both false. There is something more to play there.
Okay. Is he just playing his role right now for the mass media, essentially?
Absolutely. He is a cog in a wheel.
Right, because when some people are going to say, oh, coronavirus isn't even, I don't care about it, it's not, but then all of a sudden when they go, oh, Tom Hanks got it, now all of a sudden it's real, right?
Exactly. He is a beneficiary of the virus and the economic collapse that will only slightly unfold. And you will see people and ministers of finance and church that will go through a tumultuous time with this, but because you are seeing a warring of two factions,
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing a house divided.
Mm.
Why are they having so many people fake it?
Just a minute.
Why are they having people claim to have it? And why are they making such a big deal about it? Like, what are they trying to do here?
So why would the media or whomever's in charge pulling the strings be having people pretend that they have the virus when they don't? What's the point of that?
Because when you're celebrities that you love, that you as a nation embody and embrace with greatness and fullness, when you realize that they among all are susceptible, then you will be more likely to crouch in fear and take and accept that this thing is real when it is not.
Okay,
Right.
well then why are they trying to scare everybody? What's the end game with that? What are they trying to accomplish?
Fear lowers the vibration of a nation. The fear lowers the vibration of an entire populace. Your vibration is becoming too high. You have too many people, such as yourselves, that are doing similar things. And this is to disrupt that. It has nothing to do with finance. It has nothing to do with a white horse coming in to save the world and clean up the swamp or the pedophiles, because the swamp is going to remain a swamp and the pedophiles will remain pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
But your vibration, your energy, your frequency,
Mm-hmm.
your mission, all of these things are what's trying to be shook.
Right. But what we're hearing right now is it's starting to sound like this may have backfired on them, or at least has potential to backfire. And see
That
the
is
exact opposite.
precisely true. And that is why you are going to be watched. That is precisely why you have to watch for that bird in the eye, in the sky, all around. And it is not just a metaphor, it's very literal. So you should understand that it is very important to maintain focus, but also, just as you were told a while back, to keep to yourself to a degree, but only a degree. And you must use discernment to know what that degree is. But you
Like, we
will.
have to go out and spread our light and spread our ascension energies, but
But we don't need to be best buds
not
with Neighbor Joe.
24/7.
Exactly. You never, ever, nothing will ever direct you and ask you and require you to shun your light, to dim your light, to hide your light. Nothing will ever ask you to do that except the thing that is the very opposite of what you want to do and be following anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick, I just want to, make sure that I'm not off track, and I'm pretty sure I'm not. But so I'm starting a group to like a sacred goddess circle to assist in empowering women that are already, awakened to a certain degree. So that should still be okay, right?
Absolutely. You must go forth with that with immensity and fierceness. You have to do that because these women are counting on you, because you inadvertently, without even knowing, are going to do something with one of these people, or maybe even more, that is going to have a great, great effect on a very, very large portion of a particular set of people in the near future. So you must continue with that. But again, because of your specialty and because of your specialness, which is in no way to offend you or to divert you, you must be careful. But you know that. Know that now since your last visits.
Okay. I have another question. Is part of my specialness some kind of connection to the darkness?
Not a connection, but an understanding of it.
Okay.
Not a connection as in you to be connected. You must pull away from that connection if that exists within you. But
Okay.
you must not forget the understanding and the importance of imparting understanding of that darkness, because darkness does not always come as
It's gotta be
darkness.
recession.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we won't be expecting to see mass arrests or anything happening anytime soon either.
No, And if you do, it'll be, if you do, it would be because the timeline is altered.
Okay. Right. So when we see that, then we'll know that it's actually things have been stepped up in a sense.
Yes.
Okay. And is Jeffrey Epstein alive?
Yes.
He is.
Yes.
So his death was faked.
Absolutely.
Wow. What role's he to play moving forward?
He's a monster, and his role is not yet done.
Oh, so he's still just doing the same old thing he ever did. He just has a new identity.
Exactly.
Wow. Did he get like plastic surgery or something, or?
He embodies an entire new individual. He has been cloned, so to speak.
Well, did he commit suicide in the jail cell?
No, no, he did not.
Did he get killed in the jail cell?
No, he got transferred from one being to another. And then that remaining being was paraded as such. That it is not him.
So
that is
they
dead.
took his soul out of his body and put it in another body.
Yes, they did.
How long have they been able to do that?
For many years. For at least 10. They've been trying to do
That he got put into would have been a clone of some sort, but it's probably somebody else's clone because they couldn't have him walking around looking like himself, right?
right. There are subtle changes, and he does not look like himself.
Oh, but it
We
was
do
a
not,
clone of him, though.
but it was a genetic clone of him. The genetic markers are such the same that you would not be able to tell by genetic testing that it was any different than his original being.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. And is he aware that this change has happened?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
He
yes.
wanted it, or he knew it was coming.
Absolutely.
Do they use magic or witchcraft to do this, or is it more technology? I'm talking about like the transfer of the soul
It
from
is,
one body to another.
it is a part of both. It is so much technology that we've not even, that we can't even tell you about because we don't fully understand.
Wow.
But it is technology, and it is black magic. It is of the dark source. It is of the source of the dark that empowers, and it embodies the ability to do this.
Okay.
And
Does it
it
have anything
also
to do with what happens at CERN?
excuse me.
Does it have anything to do with CERN? Like
CERN is a
the Hadron
of it.
Collider?
Yes, yes. By using the Hadron Collider, they are able to extract a particular substance out of a particular material that is required for the transference of a soul. But most souls cannot be transferred because most souls are not the black souls. The black souls are empty enough that they can be voided from one and substantiated in another.
So what you do is you basically open up a portal to the lower fourth dimension where that person's soul can go to there and then hop over to where it needs to be, and a non-dark person wouldn't be able to take going through there.
Yes, and the powers that the energy, the literal energy that is required to make this happen is what is generated with CERN.
Say that again.
The power, the very power, the energy, the magnificent amount of electricity that is required to make this transference is part of what is generated and used from CERN.
Okay, go ahead, babe. What were you gonna say?
Well, I just, science and magic I see as, one and the same.
They have become one and the same. They always were one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
But this is dark. This is different. This is with malintent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to basically rip open the fabric of reality for this to happen.
That's why we have several different timelines working right now in order, because they destroyed one and they created another one. And you all live in each one.
Wow. Is there any benefit to us connecting with the other versions of ourselves in those other timelines? And
There's none. There is none, and you should not.
Okay.
The only version of yourself that you should connect with in an alternate timeline is your higher being.
Okay.
You would not meet your higher being in an alternate timeline in actual reality. The only thing that would be like you would be a similar facsimile to you. You would meet in another timeline, and that's not what you want to do.
Right. Right. There's no way. Yeah. Too many variables. Too many things. Okay.
They won't let it happen.
What's that?
They won't let it happen because it would destroy parts of the fabric that is time and space that would be irreparable.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay. And we were thinking that this corona scare is going to die down over some kind of period between, I guess, 4 to 8 weeks, uh, and then it's going to come back later in the summer. Something else happens in the summer that's even worse. What do you know about that, Hal? What's your opinion on it?
There will be a staged event. There will be a staged event.
Oh, like a false flag.
A false flag, yes. A false flag.
What
And it
would
would
be
be,
the point of this false flag? What are they? Because they always try to achieve something. Well, they usually start a war, right, or get people's guns away from them, or
it'll be another version to instill fear, because the coronavirus will not instill the fear that they really want. At the end, the coronavirus will have the opposite effect of what they want, so they'll have no choice but to try again.
oh, so now they're going to up the ante. Oh, so almost like a 9/11 type of an event.
Yes, but it will be larger, and it will be much uglier.
Oh my God!
Well, at least we'll be prepared this time.
Like a football game or something like that, maybe. Big concert.
Football, soccer, it will happen somewhere, or maybe even both, of Europe and America, and even possibly South America.
Okay. No fake spaceships involved in this, is there?
There may be. There may be, but there may not be, because the technology that they've been working on, which they've come so far advanced with, the very same technology that they're able to use against you and I and Lisa and many others, are going to be very, very, very much in play. But we all are working so hard to make that counter move.
Speaking of technology, I had noticed that when we found that post about those microwaves coming from those satellites, like, it didn't seem too serious, but then a little after that time, that's when this corona thing got out of control. Could there be a connection?
Absolutely, there's a connection.
Okay.
And there's also a connection between your phone and radiation, but you know about this already. But there are countermeasures you can take within your home, within your space, and on your phone. You can remove your phone from your room at night when you sleep. That's very important. Your radiation affects your sleep patterns greatly, which affect your spiritual being very greatly. If you don't already know this, then know it now and make preparation.
Okay. I always put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but I do play music on my phone. Would you maybe suggest using my computer?
You should definitely use your computer as opposed to your handheld device.
Okay.
There are also radiation blocking stickers that can be purchased for a nominal fee that will stick directly to the back of your phone and counteract up to 99.9% of the EMF that's coming from your phone, even when in use.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, super cool. Let me just get rid of a few of these questions here that we've answered. False flag, Jesus, that's crazy. This false flag, I'm getting a feeling of it. I don't know if any of you ever saw this movie called The Kingsman, and they were making basically everybody go crazy and kind of turn on each other. And I've always been afraid that that's what you could do with the 5G technology as well.
Yes, the 5G could be used in several different capacities. What people don't realize is that most of the contaminants and contagions are already inside of them. They've been there implanted for years in a series of inoculations and vaccinations that seem completely harmless. But there was a component in each one of those from the time you were born to the time you are now in the last flu shot you got. Those components are in that substance that have already been put inside of you.
Like nanotechnology?
Nanotechnology, digitized things like a virus, much like some of you speculate the 5G is digitized. Well, it is to a degree, but there will come better versions of this, and they will be installed in the body through injections and inoculations to counter coronavirus.
Yeah, I pretty much thought that because I mean, because now all of a sudden they're starting to get vaccinations for this thing that nobody actually, I don't know if anybody really has it, and if they do, it doesn't seem like it's any worse than the flu.
Don't they have
Not
the
only,
ability?
not only that be the case, but the coronavirus has been here for months and months and months. There were those who had it months ago that
A
couldn't
lot of
get
people were
rid of it.
talking about it in December, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It just hadn't been named yet.
It hadn't been named yet because it wasn't time to name it. It was already named. It was already named by them, those who made it.
Why did they pick the name Corona?
They do not know. I do not know. There is no answer.
Okay.
So, is there anything we could do to get to extract this nanotechnology from inside our bodies?
Purification.
Okay, so like a spiritual.
Not spiritual, physical. Physical as in with your diet. There are purifications you can do that would extract certain elements from your core being.
Oh, like colon cleanses and that type of stuff, fasting.
Yes, fasting is very, very good. It would be one on the top of your list. It should be on the top of your list.
Okay, what about like super greens and monatomic gold?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So fasting for
well,
every week or what, for like 10 days straight, or what are we talking about fasting?
your fasting should come fast and hard, and it should come in a series of no less than 3 days to initiate, followed up with a particular intake of dietary supplements that you will be told about and that you may already know about.
Okay, and on this false flag that we're talking about, I've heard about some 7-dimensional or higher holograms that they're able to make with lasers these days that look very, very realistic. And so the vision that I'm getting of this is that we have a fake spaceship that looks real, that's just laser lights basically, or maybe one that we have already, a spaceship, and then we take the 5G and like, let's say it hunkers over a soccer game, and then you hit that soccer game with 5G and everybody loses their mind and starts, trampling each other.
That is precisely how it will come. There may be prior to that an actual event, an event of doom, an event of catastrophic nature, such as 9/11 or an attack. But it will be directly followed by the very thing that you were speaking of. It will directly, if it happens, you can count within days or hours to be seeing visions. And once that vision is seen, that's when the technology that lies within the blood that's already there, that has been for years, will be activated by 5G.
So basically what would happen is that somebody would be piggybacking on a sort of a natural event to just amplify the fear from that.
Yes, that is precisely how it will more than likely happen, at least in the current predicted course of our timeline that we exist in now.
Okay. And it sounds like on the going back to the fasting, it sounds like it's going to be like a series of 3-day fasts, or there's 3 days just to break in, and then we're going to go more deep into it.
It should be a series. It will start with the 3-day fast, followed by the supplemental intake of your provided essentials, and
Mhm.
minerals. As stated, you will know what those are when it is time for you to know. You
Okay.
probably already do. Now is the time to go ahead and begin collecting that information and
Right.
that data in
Research.
mind, and parting a game plan, because your fasting is also going to be needed to be uh, uh, followed up with water. You're going to need to wash and cleanse your system, but your water has to be very, very carefully consumed,
Okay,
carefully
I have two questions.
harvested.
Wait, one last. So you're
Yeah.
talking about a dry fast.
No, you will be able to drink water, and you will, but you cannot drink fluoridated water. You
Okay.
cannot drink anything that comes from your tap unless you know it's the well you dug.
Now, I was wondering, are we talking clear liquid diet? Are we talking thick liquid fast? Like, fruits like organic and non-GMO, would that be okay? Or
Not initial cleanse, no. We need to
okay,
shock the body.
Like
Your
just a
first
water
cleanse
squat fast.
okay.
Your first cleanse should be definite, no food whatsoever of any kind, followed only with minimal intake of water for a 3-day period. Once that is done,
Minimal.
you may then, on your next fast, use a more liquid or whole food diet or supplement while you are fasting.
What about gelatin?
Gelatin would be acceptable on the second run,
Okay, the second one.
as long as it is of your nature, organic and whole, and you know where it came from.
Okay.
And the water we make it with is the best.
Yes,
And by the way, probably alkaline water is the best, distilled water is the second best, and then I don't know.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yes. The alkalized water is going to be the best. If you can use it for all, then that's what you should.
Say that part again, Michael.
The alkalized water is going to be the best, and if you can use that throughout all of your fasts, you certainly should.
Okay. Okay. Oh, we heard about this new shape called the Vasa recently. Are you familiar with that, Hal?
He is.
Okay. And we would heard that's a ooh, I'm getting chills right now. So let's just leave a nice open-ended question here. What do you know about it? What should we know about it?
You should know everything that you can about it.
Okay. And it's a good shape for building houses as well.
Yes, it is.
Is it better than a geodesic dome or a pyramid shape, or just equal
Not
to?
particularly better, but equally comparable.
Okay. But it's better at shucking off energies, huh? 5G waves
It's
and stuff
strong.
like that.
It's stronger. It has a greater, like an egg being crushed in all points. It has a greater strength.
Okay.
Would it be
Yeah.
good to use the Vasahedron for spiritual protection, visualizing it?
As opposed
Once you
to.
understand more about it, then yes, you may.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. And there again, in place of a Merkaba or in tandem with it or
The Merkaba
In
rotating.
tandem, the Macarba is your friend. It's our friend. It's what works now. Not to saying that others won't work, but it's known and it's good.
Okay. Okay. So just maybe if we want something fresh or a little change, we can use that Vasahedron instead.
Yes.
Okay. Just a moment here. Oh, do we need to worry about our electricity going out at any point during this trials and tribulations we're going through currently?
No.
Okay.
No, because if yours goes out, then so does millions of others, and that is not part of the plan.
Okay. And how much prepping should we do? Do we need to have like 8
You
weeks?
should certainly do as much as you can.
Fine, and we go get more later.
That's right. You get what you can for now. Keep your budget strict. because this will not last, but you have to get your car fixed. You have to be able to eat. You have to be able to do the things that you need to do daily. So you must be mindful of your budget.
Okay.
But you should also go ahead and plan for long-term storage and long-term stock up after this. You should increase incrementally as the year passes.
Right. So once the things return back to normal and the dam breaks a little bit and I'm back to work, then we want to just prepare for the next round of this a little better.
Yes.